Hey guys, Sifu Mike here, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about using your whole body, okay? And what's commonly referred to as the torso method. And I say commonly because there's only a small circle of martial artists who actually refer to it as the torso method. Some martial artists don't even realize what it is, okay? And I consider this to be kind of a martial art principle, okay? It's in one of the underlining concepts behind why a technique works, and this can be applied to virtually every single martial art, okay? And what that is basically using a little bit of your muscles versus your entire body and using all of your muscles, okay? So, and I'll say this, you can muscle your way through any martial art, alright? I'm talking more about making it efficient so that you can do the same movement several times repeatedly over and over and over and not having to muscle your way through each one. Okay, so you can actually get more reps of doing a particular technique. Okay, so my terminology actually comes from a lot of Chinese stories. Okay, there's actually several Chinese stories where they have one where they're talking about a hawk and a serpent, and then they have another one where it's a tiger and a dragon. And then you got hand method and torso method, and really I think they all describe the same thing. Okay, they all talk about how people will start off as a tiger or dragon, right, or using the hand method and just using a little bit of their muscles and muscling their way through it, and then transitioning into the dragon method or the torso method, or being a serpent and kind of moving around and going with the punches kind of stuff. What they're describing is not so much a conscious decision, okay? It's more of a result, okay? Because all of them say that you start off this way, really hard style, and kind of move into like soft style right around the same time, right? Right after age 35. Now, modern medicine tells us that when you get older, everything starts to slow down, man. It's just a fact of life, right? When you get over 35, your body stops functioning as quickly and as efficiently as it used to, right? It's not producing the same quantities of like steroids and hormones that it needs or that it used to, right? So you just operate a little bit slower than before, all right? You don't really start to see this until you're about like 45, like 10 years later kind of deal is when you start to see it. That actually coincides with all of these stories saying in about 10 years they're all like doing this torso method kind of stuff. They're having to use what they got, right? So my whole thing is that, hey, do that first, right? Learn to use all of what you have and then add more, right? And then everything becomes awesome, because not only do your strikes and everything get harder, right, but you can do them more, right? So that's what I try to teach people first, right? It takes a little bit longer, and you have to work at it, because actually it can be really easy to add that extra muscle mass, all right? And it's really the difference between two techniques, right? One technique, I'm just muscling my way through it. There's nothing wrong with that. Other technique is I'm using everything I got to accomplish the same deal. Again, nothing wrong with either one. I want to mirror the two though. That's what I do, okay? That's what I teach in my school and stuff like that. That's what I'm kind of outlining in this video, is that there's multiple ways to skin a cat, let's put it that way. Alright, so a couple examples that I like to use is that, you know, if say a 300-pound power lifter of a man, big guy, right, comes up to a piece of weight, a barbell, whatever, and he picks it up like it's nothing, right? They say, oh, that guy's powerful, right? But then if a person my size, I'm only 140 pounds, right? I come up, I do the same lift, and I got to use technique, right? People then say, oh, he's powerful. He was able to lift the same amount of weight, but he had to use a different technique. He had to use more. So to demonstrate this, I got a kettlebell, right? So say I'm a big dude. I'm like, okay? Muscling my way, picking that thing up, did everything wrong, just brute force, right? Now, I'm a little guy. Okay, I got to use technique. So I come here, squat down, back is straight, hand on the bell, right? Use my body, pick it up, then knees, push it up. I use technique, same deal, okay? But it's much safer for my joints in the long run because I'm not putting extra stress on them, right? That's the biggest difference, is that in the first one, I was using all muscle. And the joints are okay with that, but only to a certain extent. If I did that all the time, they'd be like, ow. Okay? The other way around, I did nothing but technique, which meant I could do that more, and I actually used more muscles and got more out of the actual movement. Okay? That was like kettlebell weightlifting type example, but you can then apply that to all kinds of martial arts, right? Whether it be punching or kicking. So punching is another example. Alright, so I'm going to use Bob here. Bob's helping me out because I got nobody else here. Bob's going to have to get me. Plus he's made for this, alright? So if I'm not using my body, I'm just using my hand. Boom, I'm just hitting. Just hitting, just hitting. Okay, but if I want to use my hips, my body, everything else, and that's actually why I'm wearing this. This is my cancer awareness sash, so you can see my hips. Get that contrast in there. Otherwise, all my sashes are all black. Don't really help much. Can't really see anything. I want you to see the contrast. You see the hips turn, right? My feet turn to allow for my knees to bend. My back heel comes off the ground. I'm using way more of me, right? And the thing is, my arm now can go further, right? So I push Bob back, right? So if I'm here, punch, bam. Right? I just use more of me to accomplish the exact same thing. Right? The turning, the twisting, pushing it through. Okay, like I said, both methods are really good. If you're in a sporting competition, muscle your way through it, man. You got to get that W, alright? If you're in a self-defense situation, you want to use as little strength as absolutely possible. If you're an instructor like me who wants to teach all the time, and I teach between 35 and 40 hours each week, right, you want to be able to like stay healthy. You can't be muscling your way through like picking up the weight in the wrong way and doing that every hour of the day for like 8 hours straight, man. That's not going to happen. You know, not going to last very long. I've been able to use this method of using my entire body to allow me to run at this pace of like 30 to 40 hours a week for like 3 years, man. It's awesome, right? It just takes a little bit of time to get there. Remember, there are several different ways to skin a cat. There's several different ways of going about this. You just have to think, hey, what is the technique that allows me to accomplish the exact same thing using the least amount of strength possible, right? This is something you kind of have to think about because, like I said, multiple ways to skin a cat. And a lot of times the people instructing stuff have a tendency of making things work but not realizing all the little details that they're doing. They don't realize that they're picking their foot off the ground when they punch, right? Which is going to turn their hips, which is going to use all their lower body, right? And picking that heel off the ground. So they're not just using the arms. Now, like I said, I want to marry the two. So you get that technique, be able to efficiently accomplish whatever thing you're trying to do, then you add on the muscle. Okay, we've seen, I'm a film geek, right? I know a lot about Hollywood and actors and stuff, and a lot of actors can change their bodies in drastic ways in a very short amount of time. Man, you look at pretty much all the actors in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, man, they're like, okay, and they're all named Chris, okay? Yeah, so you can use weightlifting and everything to really pack on that muscle. And, well, to be clear, I'm going to backtrack. I'm not a physicist. I'm going to talk about some physics in a second, but I'm not a physicist. I'm an economist, okay? I just know this thing exists. But your force that you generate is going to be based on the mass that you have behind that force, right? So there's two ways of going about it. If I'm just using my arm and I increase the mass of my arm through lifting weights, whatever like that, then when I punch, that force that I'm projecting out is going to be greater because I have greater mass. So that's totally legit. Now, if I use all of this mass behind that punch, okay, I can accomplish the same thing. So if I learn to do this first, using my entire body, and then go pump the iron and get this bigger, then I get more mass. I can actually hit a whole lot harder. Right? So there are easier ways to go about this if you just work at it. You're going to have to work at it. It's going to take a little bit of time, right? But it's totally worth it. Okay, it's the hand versus the torso method. Use them both in conjunction. Don't wait till you get old like me, man. You know, do this early on and be awesome. That's what we want. That's what I want. I want you to be awesome. All right, because you deserve that. Okay, so if you like this video, be sure to subscribe, share it, and check out all my other very detailed videos on how to do martial arts at thedragonmethod.com. Okay, that's thedragonmethod.com. Okay, I'm going to have links all over, everywhere, somewhere. And go there, and I teach everything about like punching, kicking, throwing people, taking them down with the wrestling, ground game, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Filipino stick and knife stuff, all that you can possibly think of. I've even got some kung fu forms and katas, right? Everything. I'm going to put everything on there, even like workout stuff. Alright, so be sure to check out thedragonmethod.com. Okay, thedragonmethod.com. Alright, and be sure to like, subscribe, and make sure you check back here because I'm always going to be posting videos about everything. Okay, hope you guys are doing good, and I will talk to you later.